Hello guys, that's me, Alexandra, from the Netherlands, Tilburg, and I'm happy to see you again. But today's topic is not going to be so happy as I would want it to be, unfortunately, because today I'm going to talk a little bit about the coronavirus situation. Well, as I can say, it's not something what we can avoid. We have to talk about it because we're all affected, and a lot of my viewers and people who watch me would like to know how it is going on around here, how it is going on in the Netherlands, how we combat this virus, what do we do, and how our life is organized, what our everyday life is. And I want to share with you a little bit more about the situation. I'm sorry, I'm just moving my camera a little bit because the sun is constantly changing its direction, and I see it's really falls on my face that you can hardly see me, but I think you can still see me. Yeah. Basically, what do we do? The situation in Netherlands, from my point of view, is pretty much relaxed compared to other countries. We do the thing that's called social distancing. So we don't get together more than 3 people at once. We keep 1.5 meter distance in the public places outside. We try to stay home as much as possible. That's why I'm filming it at the moment in the park. There's literally no one here at the moment, so because it's quite early. But we're still allowed to be in the public places. We're still allowed to be outside. So we're not really stuck in place, because a lot of friends of mine asking like, oh, how can you survive this quarantine measures? How can you survive this isolation and like being stuck in one place with a child, for instance, with a toddler? And I really have no answer for you guys on that matter, because I'm myself having 1 year and 3 months old child who is an amazing boy and such a joy. His name is Nathan. And I cannot imagine what I would do simply being with him like all the time at home and not being able to actually, go outside, enjoy the sun. And I'm so thankful that we still can do that. I can't really give my opinion on the fact how effective these measures are, if the Dutch government does everything right or things should be done differently. I'm not really sure. I'm not a specialist. I really don't know what is right to do, because all countries try different approaches. But even though Dutch people regularly criticize themselves that, oh, we don't really keep the measures, oh, we don't really follow the rules, some people still get more than 3 people at once. But I still think Dutch people do fine, because we are trying to keep, for instance, social distancing. We don't come close to people. We don't go like outside in the most busiest hour. We try to have walks early in the morning or in the evening. We watch to make sure that we don't really come closer to people. To be honest, I'm not really sure why people keep those strict measures, because it's not really the disease that can be easily spread, like when people are standing close to each other, not close, like far away from each other. Only when they stand actually close and they sneeze, and like if you're really walking in the park and 10 meters away, another woman is just walking with a baby carriage, and you don't really come across, and you don't really, get closer to each other. I don't know what is the problem. Like, how can we actually affect each other? It's just difficult for me to understand. But some governments think otherwise. They actually recommend people to stay very far away from each other, or maybe don't go outside at all. I think at the moment, like how the Dutch government does it, I'm very, very thankful for. Of course, we have all events cancelled, all the big meetings, all the events, most of the stores, of course, all restaurants, everywhere where people can get together, especially in close places when, they can actually infect each other and spread it quite quickly. People try not to visit there, and they don't visit their old parents, especially those who are still living in the old people's home. We have one close to the place where we live, and the other day it was very sweet and touching for me, because I saw the situation when a family was singing or yelling something to a grandma, how much they love her, because they're not able to get inside. And for all people, it's very hard. Their days are about the same, they're waiting for those visits, and now they can't have them at all, so they're just stuck there. and it can be very mentally disturbing for them. And it's so nice that their relatives try to find other ways to cheer them up and to give them the feeling that very soon it will pass, and the most important now is just to stay alive, stay safe, and the rest will come. I also was witnessing a situation a couple of days ago when a few girls brought a big drawing board and put it in front of the window of old people's home, and they were playing games with old people. They were entertaining them. I don't really particularly recall what was the game on the board, but they were trying to, you know, to make them a bit more active, to play with them and to make guesses, and that was very sweet. So people are really trying to be socially proactive. Maybe I'm too optimistic compared to other bloggers, to other people living in the Netherlands who say like, oh, we should be more strict, we should be in total quarantine, just never go anywhere outside of the house, only one time in 2 weeks do grocery. But to be honest, I can't really imagine how this is possible to do, you know, when you have a small child, like really, like they are so active. Like when you have your own house, okay, I can't imagine you can last for a few weeks, you know, you have your territory around it, you have your backyard, the front yard, you know, where children can actually play. But you know, like when you live in an apartment and you have a child, or maybe two, and don't have enough space, like what will you do? I mean, you really go nuts, you're gonna kill each other there. But well, if the government applies, you know, comes up with those rules, you know, you have to make sure that you comply with them. So that's all we can do. We're not such a big people that can actually change that, unfortunately. Yeah, so because we're not in the government. Yeah, that's all I can tell. But so happy to see. So also there's quite a distinctive situation going on around here. We are allowed to let our children play together when they're under 12 years old. So we can see a lot of children are playing together like outside, and the government allows that and says that's totally okay. So I've never actually seen relatives like being close to them or anything like that. Maybe one can supervise them, or maybe it happens like very close to their homes, you know, like on the street or something, but children do play together under 12. So as I said earlier, I'm not a specialized. I haven't got a degree, you know, in this virusology, and like, you know, I can't really evaluate those measures. The only thing I can say that I'm very thankful that I can be outside, that I can still see the sun, that I can walk in the park, and I'm trying to do everything to be as careful as possible, to not infect anyone, to don't come close to anyone, to pick the time there is no one outside. You know, of course it's quite strange, you know, you can't really have a random chat with a lady in the park or with your neighbor, just like, or can visit someone, but I still can get this fresh air. I can hear this beautiful birds singing, I can see this nature, and it makes me so happy that I'm still able to do that. And that's basically the situation in the Netherlands. It's how we live. It's not so strict. Yeah, we still have people dying from this disease. It's very sad. Most of the people, they're obese, actually, who are in the hospital. It's quite a new information, but a lot of people on this, yeah, in a critical condition in the hospital, they have obesity. Yeah, that's what we've been told from the government. A lot of people who are in the hospital as well, of course, the main category, they're old, it's elderly people, you know, seniors. They suffer from them first. People with critical conditions, like, yeah, and sometimes unhealthy people. We know it's not a joke. We know that we have to follow the rules. We know it's not out of nothing. It's not because governments are just, you know, entirely bad. That's how I can say that. People really try to protect us, and you know, and sometimes maybe some governments have to impose very strict measures because they don't have enough trust in their people, you know, in society, that people actually will follow the rules. If you can tell them, oh, you can actually walk outside because it's not as contagious as measles, mumps, or chickenpox, you know, it doesn't really spread on a big distance, you know. So if you're really standing here and the other person is standing 10 meters away from you, you can't infect each other with coronavirus. It's impossible. You got to stay closer, you know, and talk with each other. Then you can, you know, you got a chance. Or you have to touch the same things, you know, and then, you know, you can touch something else. And that's why they say wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. So constantly. That's why I have my sanitizer with me constantly, and I'm constantly washing my hands, like literally, like all the time before I start making like a video filming. After that, like all the time. They say a lot of people will eventually might get some skin problems because of using all this sanitizers and washing it constantly with antibacterial soap, which is not so great doing it as often, but it helps us to stay safe. Okay, so we're trying to be as cautious as we can, take care of those who are in need. We don't really visit old people. Yeah, that's the situation here. And as I said, I'm very, very thankful that we can actually, a lot of people will say now, oh, don't touch your face, but I just disinfect my hands before I start filming, so my hands are clean. I can touch my face. And I'm so happy that I can be outside and like have walks, and we are trying not to abuse it, be as careful as we can, stay far away from people, wash our hands. And until now, me and my family are fine, and I hope they will stay that way. But we all at risk. It can happen with any of us, no matter what we do. So stay safe is the only I can tell you. And I would like to hear more about the things that are going on in your country. What does the government do? Are you happy with the measures that government takes, or you know, like, or you're not happy? Or yeah, just tell me more how it's going on in your country. How do you try to stay safe? And if you're not allowed to go outside, how you bearing with this? Like, how you entertaining your children? And yeah, tell me a little bit more about this corona situation in your country. I know it's not the nicest and the most positive and cheering topic, and it's not something much we can do about, but still it will be nice to know how we both, you know, all coping with the situation. And don't hesitate to ask me any questions. I will try to find the detailed answer. I try not to be so, you know, explicit and recalling all the measures that the government like imposes on, you know, imposes on people, you know, or just, yeah, I'm running out of words here. You know, because you simply can find this information on the internet, you know, what exactly Dutch government does. It's just one click. I was just trying to tell you more about people's everyday regular life and how we deal with that. So I would like to know more about how you deal with this in your country. And stay tuned, ask questions, leave comments, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye!